Hello and welcome back to CarWale. I'm Bilal and this is the all-new Mercedes-Benz GLB. Now, as the Mercedes-Benz naming scheme goes, the GLB sits between the entry-level GLA and the Mercedes-Benz India's blockbuster, the GLC. Now, for the first time in India, Mercedes-Benz or any manufacturer, for instance, has introduced the ICE version as well as the electric equivalent of the same car together in the country. So the EQB is launched alongside the GLB, and my colleague Sagar is doing a detailed review on it. So if you want any more details on the EQB, you can visit our website www.carwale.com. So in this video, we'll only be talking about the GLB. We'll take a look inside the cabin, we'll discuss the features, the third row as well. We'll also discuss the pricing and its positioning in the country. But before we begin, I have something important to talk to you about. See, YouTube tells us that 96% of our viewers, they like our videos, they watch our videos, but they haven't subscribed our channel yet. It doesn't take much. You just have to press the subscribe button and that's about it, but means a lot to us. So if you really like the videos we put out on our channel, do hit that subscribe button, which will definitely help us to bring you better videos. And if you don't like something that we put out on our channel and you want to see something different, something new, do write into us in the comment section below. Now, the GLB is based on the same MFA platform as the A-Class sedan or the GLA. But in terms of styling and appearance, doesn't the GLB looks like a baby GLS? The GLS is the biggest SUV Mercedes-Benz has on offer. It carries this upright, humongous stance as well. Similarly, the GLB also has these squarish headlamps, an upright nose, a flat roofline, and a boxy rear, just like what you see in the GLS. The GLB doesn't look as imposing and large in metal, but just the right size for a family crossover. On the GLB, you get these LED headlamps with Mercedes-Benz digital lamps as standard. Depending on the variant you buy, you get a different grille and a slightly different bumper design. In the progressive trim, there's a two-louver grille, while in the AMG version, you get a single slat with chrome garnish mesh. Even the bumper here is more imposing in the AMG trim. Similarly, the AMG spec alloy wheels are an inch larger with a lower profile. Look at it from the side and the flat roof of the GLB gives it a nice character. Add to it the roof rails and black cladding and it offers everything a modern SUV buyer wants in their car. Move to the back and you get these LED tail lamps much akin to the GLS. More nod to the GLS comes in the form of a squared off lighting element inside these tail lamps. Adding sportiness to the GLB is a roof mounted spoiler, chrome garnish around the bumpers, with fake exhaust tips and some diffusers, which looks more aggressive here in a family crossover. In terms of dimensions, the GLB measures 4646 mm in length, it is 1850 mm wide and has a height of 1706 mm with a wheelbase of 2829 mm. These dimensions are of the AMG line and the progressive variant is slightly different. Here's how it compares to its sibling, the GLA and the GLC. What do you think about the design and appearance and the stance of the GLB? And would it be the sole reason for buying it? Let us know your opinion in the comment section below. Now, getting inside the GLB is fairly easy and comfortable because it's not very tall, neither is it too short. So you get in and then you're welcomed by this very familiar Mercedes-Benz cabin. So you get this large floating display with two different all digital displays for you with the newest MBUX system. And talking about the steering wheel, you have this brushed aluminum inserts on it with the buttons to control every function that's there on both these screens. Talking about brushed aluminum inserts, you have three very strong, rugged looking aluminum inserts, but they also look quite premium. The first one is over here on the dashboard, the second one is over here in the center console, and the third is a grab handle for the doors. It looks like more you would find on a big, very large pickup truck. So that adds to the ruggedness of the GLB. Talking about practicality, you have this large console here to keep your phone, which also doubles up as a wireless charger. Then there's two cup holders here, and under the armrest you have this large compartment to store all your knickknacks. But also you get two Type-C ports right here and one over here as well. I also particularly like this armrest thingy you have here, where you can keep your palm while you control this touchpad. This touchpad, it's very easy to navigate all the system as well while on move. While you're driving, you don't have to move your eyes from the steering, and you can just control your car functions right from this touchpad. As for the visibility, you sit quite low. It's not a very high stance SUV, so you have good visibility all around. The view at the back, it's not very great owing to the narrow windscreen at the back, and also the mirrors, they're quite too small. A larger mirror would have provided with a better view around. As for the seats, this being an AMG line, you get this all black gorgeous looking upholstery here with contrast red stitching, which adds to the sportiness of the entire cabin. You get the red stitching on the seats, on the door pads as well, and the carbon fiber inserts here with the ambient lighting, which can be adjusted to 64 colors. It makes the cabin feel more premium, more upmarket, and nothing less than what you would expect from a 3-pointed star. Now on to the second row of the GLB, which is probably the most important place to be here because this is a family crossover. So here the space is in good amount. The front seat is set to my position, and me being 5.5, I have enough headroom here. There's good leg room here as well, and the under thigh support, it could have been better, but I can't complain right now. Apart from that, it has adjustment to and fro. So if you have someone sitting at the back, you can adjust here. We'll be getting at the back to show you the space in the third row. But before that, in the second row, we'll see that you have an armrest here with folding cup holders, and this 3-point seat belt here as well. But again, seating 3 here wouldn't be very comfortable, especially in longer journeys. As for practicality, you have space here on the door pads. There's a little recess here to keep your coins or chocolates if you want. There's a single USB Type-C cable port again, because people at the back would be using their smart devices. There's also a net here to keep your knickknacks more, and this sunroof, again, it's a really added bonus, but a big single unit panoramic sunroof would have been better. Now it says here 169 centimeter, but I am 170 centimeter. So let's try and get into the third row. And to show you the third row, we have folded down this middle row just to get you a perfect angle. Now to get in, you either can pull this lever and slide the seat forward and then get in, like as you do in the, say, XL6. But it would have been better if Mercedes provided the tumble down option for the second row as you get in the Carens. But either way, the other option is you can fold this seat just the way as we have done this. Now to get in, I tried this, but again, it's not very comfortable for me to get in. So you put your left leg in, pull yourself, and onto the third row of the GLB. Now the first thing you have to do is adjust the headrest because it's not very comfortable without it. Pulling the seat back, this was my position, and as you can see, the 2-jump seat here, it's not suitable for full-grown adults. Now there's no adjustment or any recline function for this third row, but in terms of practicality, you do get 2 cup holders for the 2 seats here, and then there's USB ports, USB Type-C again for the children who would be sitting here and using their smartphones or tablets. As for the headroom, there's a scoop which ends right here, and if it would have been gone slightly back, the headroom would have been much better, but now it's barely anything for my size. And
You do get a 3-point seat belt for both the passengers, and there's a section here as well. As for the visibility, you have this window here, so I don't think the kids or adults my size for shorter distances would feel claustrophobic here. Lastly, we come to the boot space. Now, with the third row up, there's barely any, to be honest. It has around 130 liters of boot space with the third row up, and it's mostly suitable for a couple of duffel bags at the most, or a backpack. But if you want some more space and you don't have kids traveling with you, you can just pull this red color lever here, and the boot space, it now increases up to 700 liters. And if you still want more space, for instance, to move a house, the GLB with its boxy cargo area, it's more practical than anything else. So you simply fold down the second row, and the total cargo area, it increases up to 1700 liters, which I think is more than ample.
In terms of the feature list, you get all the bells and whistles you would expect from a car at this price point. Apart from the powered front seats with memory functions for both the driver and the front passenger, you also get the latest MBUX integrated screens dominating the dashboard. The two 10-inch screens have a fairly usable and easily navigable interface which can be controlled by the steering wheel as well. Apart from that, you get electric sunroof, electronic tailgate, 64-color ambient lighting, wireless charger, 2-zone climate control, and sportier seats in this AMG line. We would have loved if the feature list included a 360-degree camera, a ventilated seat, and a fancy sound system. Although the current sound system isn't half bad. You do get 7 airbags and ISOFIX in the second and third row as a part of the safety kit, along with active brake assist. The GLB has also scored full 5 stars on the NCAP test. With the GLB 200, you get the 1.3-liter turbo petrol from the A-Class and the GLA. It puts out around 161 bhp and 250 Nm. Meanwhile, the diesel which we are driving here is a 2-liter, which has an output of 188 bhp and 400 Nm. The petrol engine is paired to a 7-speed DCT, while the diesel gets an 8-speed DCT sending the power to the front wheels, except in the AMG line, which gets a 4MATIC all-wheel drive. On idling or on move, the engine is slightly noisier, but it's more heard than felt. We have experienced this engine in other Mercedes-Benz models, and it gave us no reason to complain.
Now, as per usual, there are 3 driving modes: Eco, Sport, and Comfort. We have been driving in the Comfort mode, and when you switch to the Sport mode, as usual, the throttle response is slightly sharper. The exhaust in this AMG line, it sounds better and more throatier, and the steering, it weighs up as well. Now, apart from the 3 driving modes, the GLB 4MATIC that we're driving here, it also has a new off-road mode. Now, in this off-road mode, the engine sends appropriate torque to the right wheel. The ABS is differently tuned for the off-road conditions. Even top speed is limited to 110 km/h. And you also get a hill descent control in this, which basically limits the speed when you're going down the hill, so you don't have to accelerate or brake. Now, Mercedes-Benz claims that the 0 to 100 km/h time of this GLB 220D 4MATIC is just over 9 seconds. So we'll be testing that as well in a future road test, so stay tuned.
In terms of fuel saving measures, the EQB include engine start-stop function. So every time you approach a traffic signal or halt for some time, the engine turns off, thus saving precious fuel. We'll also see the rear-world fuel efficiency of the GLB when we get the car back home. Where the petrol version gets a 7-speed DCT, here in the 220D you get an 8-speed automatic. Unlike the newer 9-speed unit which constantly runs through the gears every time you accelerate or brake to find the right gear, this one is more familiar, more conventional. It tends to upshift around 2000 rpm, and when in sports mode, or when accelerating hard, it would easily hold the gear for longer, giving you the strong mid-range grunt when you want to go uphill on ghats or when overtaking on highways.
Now, as for the steering, it goes almost 3 turns lock to lock, which isn't very quick, but it's very direct. So coming downhill from the Kodaikanal hills through the treacherous and the most scenic ghat I've seen in a recent time, the steering on the GLB was very supportive. Uh, Combine it with the very creepy Pirelli tires and the 4MATIC traction, it was tons of fun.
As for the ride quality, we experienced smooth surfaces on highways and some bad sections on the ghat. Although on the stiffer side, the ride wasn't very jarring and it took in everything nicely. We wanted to drive the GLB with 7 people on board to see how it performs, but sadly it wasn't possible today, but it's something for another day. Prices for the all-new GLB start at 63.8 lakh rupees for the 200 progressive trim with the petrol engine. Meanwhile, the diesel version of the 220D progressive is priced at 66.8 lakh rupees. What we have driven here, the 220D 4MATIC in the AMG line carries a price tag of 69.8 lakh rupees ex-showroom. At this price point, the GLB is almost 15 lakh rupees more expensive than the range-topping GLA. And this price range of the GLB is the same as the current Gen GLC, which is soon to be replaced. Moreover, Mercedes-Benz India is currently importing the GLB as a CBU unit. If the GLB garners a good response from Indian buyers, Mercedes-Benz could commence a local assembly of this 3-row SUV, which should make the pricing even more handsome. Currently, the GLB makes for a better alternative to the BMW X3, Volvo XC60 and the Audi Q5, mainly because it offers a 3rd-row practicality and everything else the Mercedes-Benz badge comes with as default. There are both petrol and diesel engine options to choose from, and if you want to go green, we have the EQB as its EV alternative. The GLB can also be a good upgrade for those moving up from, say, the Skoda Kodiaq or the likes of the X1, the Q3 and its own stablemate, the GLA, or even other full-size 7-seater SUVs into a premium badge. With a baby GLS stance, the GLB will occupy the space that the outgoing GLC will vacate. And since the new gen GLC, which is due next year, will get more expensive, the GLB has a high chance of getting the same popularity the GLC had enjoyed in India all these years. For the buyers who found the GLC to be an enticing deal, the GLB now offers almost all of it, but with the addition of a 3rd row.